as you have defined, okay, a game is anything that involves conflict or competition. Game theory, on the other hand, is a set of tools. Ito yun, no? We will be studying a set of tools, techniques, okay, in making a decision under uncertainty. So basically, if you are a player in a game, okay, that fits the assumptions later on that I will discuss. Okay, kapag player ka, then game theory will actually equip you and give you a set of tools needed for making decisions in the face of uncertainty. Okay, so decisions you can make whenever you're faced with an opponent, and your goal is to optimize your decision at the expense of your opponent. Okay, syempre, if you're in a competition, you want to win. And winning means that it will be at the expense of your opponent. Kapag nanalo ka, matatalo yung isa. Kaya nga sabi lagi sa ano, 'di ba? Basketball. Pag maganda sobra yung game ng basketball, very close match all throughout from first to fourth quarter, nag-overtime pa, nag-triple overtime, sasabihin ng commentator, it's a very nice game. It's a thriller. Unfortunately, only one team can win the game. Okay? So unfortunately, yung outcome ng bawat game, may isang mananalo, may isang matatalo. And it will always be at the expense of your opponent. Okay? So we will be taught how to make decisions in order to optimize our decisions at the expense of our opponent. So as we have discussed, doon sa similarities with decision theory, each player, okay, so ang elements diyan is that may player dapat, and bawat player should have a finite number of, we will not deal with infinite, no, but only a finite set of strategies, okay, which is the second component, di ba? And then the third component would be the outcomes or the payoffs for a game are summarized in what we call a game matrix. Ito naman yon. Okay? So, based on your definitions earlier, we have actually defined both a game and game theory. Right? So, here are the major assumptions. Kasi, tulad nga ng sabi ko kanina, in real-life competitions like chess, tennis, basketball, or any other games, hindi lang naman applied sa sports and games. Pwedeng i-apply yan sa ano, no, sa marketing, no. Let's say two companies or two universities are battling for market share. LaSalle, Ateneo or LaSalle and all the other universities. Let's say they are the players, 'di ba? Pandemic ngayon. So, very tight ang finances ng lahat ng universities ngayon. So, ang ginagawa nila is really strategy, no, to market their programs para mag-enroll sa kanila ang mga estudyante. Okay? So, that's a game theory problem. Diba? Kasi if LaSalle will gain 1,000 students, yung 1,000 students na yon, saan manggagaling yon? Okay? Manggagaling yon from supposedly mag-enroll sa ibang university na na-persuade natin mag-enroll sa LaSalle. And you've been through that. Your parents have been through that. Diba? At one point, they had to make a decision, saan university ko ba ipapasok yung anak ko? Diba? And if we consider this as a game, LaSalle is one of the players, Ateneo could be one of the players, and let's say, let's limit it para simplify yung problem. Let's limit it to just two players, LaSalle and Ateneo. Siyempre, magkakatalo na lang dyan sa program na ino-offer, okay, sa tuition fee, at sa marketing strategy. Diba? Paano minarket ng bawat university yung programs nila? So, anong strategy ang kailangan gawin? All-out marketing ba to? O kaya i-describe mo lang yung program, or papakita mo rin yung mga possible career path, or i-enumerate mo lahat ng mga naging successful nasa government, nasa private sector, lahat ng mga naging successful graduates ng engineering program. Okay? Paano mo i-market at isa-strategize yan? What strategy are you going to employ? And the result, okay, the result will be either you get the students or not. Okay, and take note that if you get 1,000 students to enroll with you, yung 1,000 students na yon is the loss of the other university. Di ba? Maghihilaan lang naman yan. So game theory is actually applied in marketing situations like this. Okay? It can also be applied to yung sinasabi nating network war, no, between between ABS-CBN and GMA, for example. Ngayon ABS-CBN is not on air, pero GMA and ABC5 are on air. So let's assume that there are two networks, TV networks. Di ba? Anong pinagtatalunan nila, class?
Viewers po.
Okay, Jason, magaling. Viewers, di ba? So, can we consider that as a game?
Yes, sir.
Di ba? Pwede natin gamitin yung game theory doon kasi ang players doon, yung GMA tsaka yung ABC5, for example. Di ba? Tapos, may strategies sila. Yung strategies nila ng bawat station can come in the form of programs, the programs that they offer. Okay? And the advertisements that they have. Okay? Yung ano nila, yung prime time advertisements nila, anong benefit ang makukuha ng viewers doon. So again, may strategies ang bawat network, and the strategy can also come in the form of yung actors and actresses that they will hire for their programs. Di ba? Talk shows pa yan. Ano bang mas marami sa programs nila? Ano pa yung timing ng bawat program? So yun yung mga strategies nila. May strategies silang dapat gawin. Di ba? Kasi it's a game eh. So kailangan may mananalo, may matatalo. At when we talk about the third element, which is yung return or payoff, in that example, syempre, ang return or payoff nila would be in terms of what Jason said, no? Which is viewership. Diba? So kapag nanood ako ng program ng ABC5, okay, the assumption here is that hindi na ako manunood ng GMA for that particular time slot. So viewership, if I gain 10,000 viewers, it would be at the expense of the other network. Mawawalan siya ng 10,000 viewers for that particular program. Kuha ba, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay? So ang daming game
Yes,
theory
thank you.
Ang daming game theory applications, no? And another very very common example which we will discuss later would be yung if you have heard about labor unions and company administration. Okay? Usually yung mga employees that are members of labor unions, yung labor union yung nagne-negotiate every year kung magkano yung increase na mangyayari sa sweldo ng mga employee members nila. Very much like in school in Lasal, yung your student council acts as your parang union. Sila ang kumukuha ng voice ng mga estudyante regarding tuition fee increases. Diba? Kasi the officers of the student council, syempre may mga parents din yan, may mga concerns din yan, mga constraints. So they act as your spokesperson, no, in terms of negotiation. So every year, the student council will represent the students in negotiating with administration, Lasal administration, as to ano lang ba dapat ang percentage increase sa tuition that is acceptable. So every negotiation is a game. Do you believe that? Every negotiation that takes place, whether it's a tuition fee negotiation or a military conflict negotiation, yung mga territories na dinidispute ng China at ng Philippines, okay? Pag may negotiation dyan, it can be considered as a game. As a game. Naniniwala ba kayo doon?
Yes po.
Diba? Game yan eh. Kasi, bakit game yan? Kasi may mananalo, may matatalo. Okay? May mananalo, may matatalo dyan. So, if you talk about tuition fee increase, every percentage increase na ma-agrihan ng Student Council at saka ng LaSalle, okay, kahit 1% lang ang tuition fee increase, cost yan para sa parents or para sa students, family ng student. Agree? Cost yan. Agree ba? Agree?
Yes, Pastor.
O hindi nyo paramdam kasi hindi mo kayo nagbabayad ng tuition. Pag parent na kayo, every 1% increase sa tuition is cost. Pero from the perspective of the university, every 1% that they are able to negotiate as a tuition fee increase is a gain or is a benefit for the university. Gets? So, meron kang return or payoff, may outcome ka. Kaya, maraming applications ang game theory. So, going back, if it's a real life competition or a real life game, syempre, mas matindi yan kasi merong mind reading na nangyayari para ma-predict mo or ma-anticipate mo kung ano yung reaction ng opponent mo. So just like basketball, kapag kumuha siya ng isang player from the bench, tapos hindi mo na-anticipate yon, matataranta ka, di ba? As a coach. Pero kapag na-anticipate mo yon, may kinuha siyang player from the bench, meron kang player na pantapat doon sa player niya because you studied his every move. So yan yung mga hindi na natin makikita, no, dito sa pag-solve ng mga game theory problems. Pero in essence, what we want to achieve is really an optimal strategy for both parties or for both players. So going back, major assumptions. The number of participants may be 2 or more. Okay, so yung isang player can be a single individual, tapos pwede ring group with the same objective. Okay, and then number 2, it's important for the timing that the opposing parties will decide simultaneously. Okay, as I've said, kapag coach ka ng basketball team, okay, sabay kayong gumagawa ng decision during the game. Pero may observation din na nangyayari so that you have an opportunity to react to every move that the other coach is going to make, diba? So that's why an assumption is that both parties will decide simultaneously. Wala na yung mga hintayan tapos magre-react ka based on anong gagawin niya, wala na yon. Basta the assumption of game theory problems is that opposing players will decide simultaneously. Okay? Number 3, another assumption is that you have conflicting goals. Okay? Hindi ka pwedeng maki-partner sa kalaban mo. Okay? Each party is interested in maximizing his or her goal at the expense of the other. So, walang game fixing. Okay? So, kapag tumaya ka sa ending doon sa basketball game, hindi mo i-manipulate yung game para lang lumabas yung ending kasi tumaya ka doon. If you know what I'm saying or if you're familiar with yung mga side bets or side games that happen every time there's a basketball game. Okay, so hindi pwede yon. So, laging ang objective mo lang is to maximize your goal to win at the expense of the other. Okay, so that's an assumption of our game theory discussion this afternoon. Okay, number 4, repetition. Most instances involve repetitive solution. Okay, so let me explain this. Ang isang laro kasi, ang game, you expect to play this not just once, but over and over. Okay, so in my previous examples, be it a basketball game, sa basketball, you play a particular opponent sa NBA or sa PBA. You play a particular opponent several times in a season. And if you talk about a year, which consists of sa PBA, 3 seasons, you play an opponent several times. Okay, so ibig sabihin, you play the game over and over again against the same opponent. So the assumption of game theory is that if you play the game over and over again, in the long term or in the long run, there will be an optimal strategy such that you will just have to repeat this strategy each time you play that game against that opponent. Okay? So even if it's a negotiation lang of a contract or a salary increase, every year yan, may bargaining na nangyayari. So in the past 10 years, as you gain experience and knowledge playing that game against each other, negotiating against each other, and assuming that payoffs don't change, okay, then there will be a solution or a strategy that will be optimal for both parties, which you will just have to repeat over and over again as you play that game. Okay, yan ang ibig sabihin ng repetitive solution. Uulit-ulitin mo lang yung prescribed strategy, okay, in playing that game against that opponent. Okay? May question ba sa number 4? So let me write here para
Wala naman po, sir, so far.
Okay, para hindi niyo makalimutan. There will be a prescribed optimal strategy. Okay? Kaya repetitive, uulitin mo lang yung prescribed optimal strategy na yun. Okay. Assumption number 5, the payoffs for each combination of, when you say decisions dito, strategies yan, no? Pareho lang yan sa strategies. So, the payoffs for each combination of strategy. Kunyari, strategy 1 ginamit ko, strategy 2 ang ginamit ng opponent. Yung combination ng strategy 1 and strategy 2 niya, meron niyang consequence, meron niyang payoff, or meron niyang profit or cost. Okay? So, bawat combination of strategy will have a payoff, and that amount is known by all parties. Okay, by both parties or by all parties. Alam natin kung ano yung amount na yun. Okay? And lastly, information availability. All parties are aware of all pertinent information. So, yung strategy ng kalaban mo, lahat ng pwedeng strategy gamitin niya, alam mo yon. Lahat din ng strategy na pwede mong gamitin, alam din ng kalaban mo yon. So, it deviates a bit from reality kasi, syempre, may secret strategy naman tayo, di ba? Even sa boxing. Okay? Pag nakikita mo kung paano lumaban yung isang fighter, malalaman mo na yung strategies niya. Pero sa training, may mga secret strategies yan. Okay? That's why this is a major assumption. Kasi we're assuming that all strategies are available. All information, consequences are available to both parties playing the game. Okay, kaya siya assumption, no? So there are 6 assumptions to keep in mind when we solve game theory problems.